Good afternoon and welcome to this special edition of Leadership Dialogue on LJE. My name is Omoyeni Ojeifu. Now, Leadership Dialogue is a program on LJE that focuses on the exchange of ideas between leaders and the people they represent with the goal of solving problems and building understanding. Today, we will be having the president of the Leadership Hub, Justice and Economic Advancement, LJE, Barrister Samuel Memeh, to tell us about the achievements of the organization and also throw more light on their one-year anniversary and today's conference coming up at the Shehu Yaradua Center on the 30th of September and 1st October 2025. Now, the event is centered on tackling the root causes of the farmers-herders conflict through justice and dialogue. Thank you very much, sir, for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're very much welcome to the studio. And then congratulations on this milestone. It's not an easy one.
Absolutely.
So how's the journey been so far? What can you tell us more about LJE and what inspired the establishment of LJE?
Well, as you know, LJE is a leadership advocacy organization. It's an organization that is rooted on its membership. It's a justice advocacy organization. And we believe that in a time such as this, Nigeria must begin to be active citizenship, and they must begin to realize that the future of this country lies in their hands. So for us in LJE, we have decided to come up with an organization that is membership-driven and a citizenship-focused organization where we are driving an agenda of true leadership, economic advancement for Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. So how would you describe the journey so far? What are the challenges you faced as an organization, as an organization that is trying to make sure that things are right in the society, trying to advocate for justice? What have been the challenges you've been facing as an organization?
Indeed, there is so much challenges, honestly, but we are not looking at the challenge. We are looking at the solution and the intention for coming up with this agenda. And of course, nothing good comes with ease.
Yes,
for us, trying to help the people, trying to provide solution to those who cannot afford the cost of justice is quite a huge challenge, definitely. There's no doubt about that. But we must keep up. In the era of the leadership advocacy, we have realized that one of the challenges we're facing in this country has to do with true leadership. And we have also found out that many cases people have already given up in this country. And when we talk about leadership, we're not just referring to those at the aims of affair. We realize that everyone is a leader in their own rights. Whether you are a family leader, you are a community leader, you are an economic leader or political leader. So what we are advocating is that everyone must begin to take up the responsibility of the mantle of leadership to identify that, look, this country is in need of the right people to run the affairs of this country from all sides. And we have also provided some level of training, some level of sensitization for the young people and even the elderly people as well. And on the area of the justice angle, we are providing legal aid, legal assistance to those who cannot afford the cost of justice.
Okay.
And the economic advancement of the organization focuses on the science behind manufacturing and production and trying to build skills for our young Nigerians, particularly in the area of science, technology, and the rest of them.
That's very beautiful. I must commend the LJE for doing a very wonderful job. And now your event is coming up on the 30th of September to 1st of October. And this event is aimed at tackling the root causes of farmers-herders crisis in Nigeria. Now, how do you plan to achieve this, knowing full well that it has been an age-long occurrence in this country? What plans do you have to put in place to make sure that this actually comes to an actualization?
Yeah, we are responding to what we consider as an exigency in our lifetime, because as a young man, I grew up, seeing the elders move around. We, like many people, agree that in the past it was very much of peaceful coexistence between the farmers and the elders, but that is not the case. And of course, the reason is very clear. not because of any other thing, but because of development and the awareness by the people. We know what the law says when it comes to ownership of land. When there is what they call criminal trespass, it is very clear. Some people have advocated to say, look, there is a grazing route. But over time, development has risen through all the nooks and crannies of this country, where many of the grazing routes have also been occupied by the owners of the communities. So what would you do when the grazing routes has already been occupied? We understand that the farmers are businessmen and women, yes, and the herders are also businessmen and women. So you must carry out your businesses within the ambit of the law. It is not sustainable to move cattle from one place to another. We have seen the consequences across the country. You can see, just right on your screen, you see that it is very difficult for you to control what this herders does in the bush. And this is causing a lot of pains, not just on the individuals, but even on the part of the government in terms of generating revenue. This is a country where we are already importing foods when we have mass land in this country. So what we are pushing forward is to see how we can have a national dialogue whereby critical stakeholders, we have interfaced with the security agencies, we have also interfaced with the herders, we have also interfaced with the farmers, and we have come to realize that this issue is surmountable. We must go back to the roots, to how it is best practice all over the world. Now, this best practice is restriction of movement of cattle, and we must come to realize that this is the best approach that we can adopt here in Nigeria, that it is no longer sustainable for herders to move their cattle from one place to another in this country, in this age, because these guys goes about destroying crops. People who are supposed to go into farming can no longer go into farming. And it is causing untold hardship on communities. You can now see the influx of people from communities, from the rural area down to the urban area. That is because there is no more job in the rural areas. So we must realize this thing in the interest of the country. It has nothing to do with tribes. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has nothing to do with a sentiment. It is only those, it's a general problem. Only those who do not want to tell themselves the truth, yes, who now want to whip in sentiment into this very essential issue. So for us, we believe that as a people, we must tell ourselves the truth. If we do not tackle this problem now, we'll leave it for our children. And it is possible that when it is time for our children to tackle this issue, they may not be able to tackle it because of the effects. So what we are trying to do is to unite Nigerians, is to unite everybody, is to say what is the best practice, what is the best approach for us to breed our cattle, for us to have our farmlands. Mm-hmm. The government must begin to understand that the farmers also have a right. You cannot plant your crops and the next day you cannot see your crops and it will be destroyed by the herders. So the herders must realize that what they are moving from one place to another is business, it's capital. So they must look for a place to settle and rear their cattle comfortably the way it is done in other parts of the world.
Do you think they will be able to come to a compromise? I mean, the farmers and the herders through this?
Absolutely. You know, when we use the word compromise, we are not begging anybody, and the law is very clear. Okay. You cannot have people being displaced from their community. I cannot own a farm and you are a herder, then you come and destroy my crops. Mm-hmm. You say we should reach a compromise. That is why we are getting the government involved to say we have identified this problem a long time ago. There is a need for us to solve this issue. So it must come in the form of policy. It must come with a form of policy implementation. Once the government give a direction, and everybody must follow suit.
Okay, that's very well. This is Leadership Dialogue on LJE. We'll go on a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
The land we call home, the source of our life, our food, and our future. A conflict that tears at the very heart of Nigeria.
We see the pain, the shattered lives, and the broken trust But what if we could mend what is broken?
LJE Nigeria invites government officials, traditional and religious leaders, farmers and herdsmen representatives, security agencies, civil society organizations, international development partners, and the general public to a 2-day national conference themed Securing Nigeria's Future, addressing the root cause of herdsmen-farmers conflict through justice and inclusive dialogue. Date 30th September to 1st October 2025. Venue Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja, Nigeria.
Join us as we address the root causes of this conflict through inclusive dialogue.
We will not just talk,
We will listen.
we will not just debate.
We will seek to understand.
Together, we will find solutions. What are we saying? The land we call home, the source of our life, our food, and our future. A conflict that tears at the very heart of Nigeria.
We see the pain, the shattered lives, and the broken trust. But what if we could mend what is broken?
LJE Nigeria invites government officials, traditional and religious leaders, farmers and herdsmen representatives, security agencies, civil society organizations, international development partners, and the general public to a 2-day national conference themed Securing Nigeria's Future, addressing the root cause of herdsmen-farmers conflict through justice and inclusive dialogue. Date 30th September to 1st October 2025. Venue Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja, Nigeria.
Join us as we address the root causes of this conflict through inclusive dialogue.
We will not just
All right. This is still Leadership Dialogue on LJE, and we have in the studio the president of the Leadership Hub Justice and Economic Advancement, Barrister Samuel Memeh, in the studio. And we've been talking about LJE's achievements and ways they can help solve farmers' herders' crisis, and also how people can get justice. So, Barrister Samuel, why did the LJE choose to spotlight the farmers' herders' conflicts this year? Was there a personal experience that triggered it, or it was just out of choice? Or
In fact, it's a matter of exigency.
okay,
Yes, this matter is actually affecting the roots of our existence in this country.
okay,
Because if you look at this country and look at the trajectory and how this country is going down, so many people would attribute this issue to so many things. And some would say it's as a result of insecurity. Some would say it's as a result of bad leadership. Some would say it's a result of greed by the politicians and even the citizens as well. But one thing that is very common, food security is one way for any country to prosper. If you find yourself in a country where you cannot plant and reap,
yes,
then it becomes a big problem.
of course,
So, and it has so many ways that it can contribute to the development of our country and economic advancement.
yes,
When you have a situation like you find in different parts of this country, like people can just attribute Benue, but I can tell you there are so many other states that are suffering more than Benue states. I'm from Delta States,
okay,
and quite a lot of states in the Federation are facing similar challenges.
Are people in Delta State affected by the same?
Hugely affected, hugely affected. As a matter of fact, I have a farm in Delta that I can no longer go to that farm. The last time, all the crops we planted, the last time we couldn't harvest because this guy will go there even at night and consume your crops. So what can you do? Do you want to take laws into your hands? Do you now want to carry a gun or take cutlasses and start waging with these guys? And we understand that there are quite a whole lot of anti-open grazing laws across the country enacted by the state governments of this country. And the implementation is another major challenge right now. So what this dialogue is all about is for us to look at these states that have already enacted these laws.
Okay.
What are the embargoes? What are the issues they are facing in terms of implementation?
Yes.
Of course, we know we have carefully look at these laws, and we discover that the laws basically is still on the surface, because you are dealing with a system that has failed to correct itself. So what do? You must implement, you must add some level of force to implement the laws. Just the same way you add some force to implement other criminal activities.
Okay.
We realize that the herders themselves also need some protection. Like I was on the platform yesterday, and we said it has nothing to do with tribe. It has nothing to do if the herders got instruction by way of policies of government that look, there should be restriction of movement of cattle in Nigeria. I can tell you that even the president will smile ending his tenure if there is restriction of movement of cattle in Nigeria. It's going to bring about food security.
Okay.
It's going to bring about employment. It's going to bring about peace. It's going to bring about security of lives and property.
Yes.
There is no doubt about that. If anybody is taking anything contrary to restricting movement of cattle in Nigeria, then that person should need to go and reflect and think about what other solution can you bring.
Okay.
So the theme for this conference is very clear: securing Nigeria, addressing the root causes of farmers' herders crisis through justice and inclusive dialogue.
So how has the absence of justice and inclusive dialogue worsened the crisis? And how do you think the people that have been denied justice can get justice?
Yes, because when we talk about justice for the farmers, justice for the community, justice for the herders.
Okay.
So oftentimes I don't know why it is so difficult for us to tell ourselves the truth in this country. And when you talk about this issue in some places, and some people say, oh, look, you just take it easy. It's a very sensitive issue. I mean, are you saying that the cattle business is the most lucrative business in this country? Absolutely no.
No.
There are in fact, cattle is not even the most consumed protein in this country.
Yes, it's not.
So can we now take our chickens and move them from one place to another, or our goods or whatsoever? It is not sustainable.
So there shouldn't be any preferential treatment.
There shouldn't be any preferential treatment. If you are into cattle business, what is expected is you must create an enabling environment. The government can support if they are willing to support.
Okay.
But first and foremost, you must own it up yourself as a responsibility that you want to run a business. So when you want to run a business, you must carry out your visibility studies to know that this business I want to go into, what does it entail? How do I run my business? You can't acquire some herds of cattle, then put them on the road or on the streets, start destroying people's crops, destroying people's farmlands, depriving people of their rights and the rest of them. And you say we should keep quiet, that this is a sensitive issue. It is not sustainable in this country. It is not something we can keep quiet and begin to say, oh, let us pretend as everything is going fine. Or because you know that there are some people that are in high places that own this cattle and all of those things. And I can tell you that nobody will be affected if cattle movement is restricted in this country. For the cattle owners, it will be a win-win for them. For the community, it's going to be a win-win for them. Many people have no business in the city. Their destiny is even more in the rural areas.
Of course.
So they can own farm, employ people to work in their farm, then feed those people in the cities. So how can you have your crop? How can you plant? Look at, you can't give just a piece of corn, maybe a roasted corn or cooked corn or whatever. You get it for about 500 naira.
It's expensive because
that is you can imagine how much they police that farmland for you to get that kind of what you get. Yeah. Otherwise, there are many people who are unlucky that when they plant their crops, they end up not getting the results of their labor.
Their labor, yes. Okay. So the event is coming up on the 30th of September to the 1st of October.
30th of September.
30th of September to the 1st of
To the
October.
1st of October, yes.
Okay. And then this is set to tackle these issues we're talking about, farmers' headers crisis. So what subsequent role will the LJE play after the event?
In fact, the event is bringing up together critical stakeholders, including the security agencies,
Okay.
government representatives,
Okay.
the farmers, the victims of circumstances as a result of this crisis, the herders who have communicated with the Mieti Allahs and the rest other cattle associations. And we are hoping that we're going to have a robust dialogue where certain issues and decisions have been taken, and we'll also send the recommendations to the relevant government agencies for them to look into.
Okay.
And we'll appeal to their conscience to, in the interest of the country, in the interest of the prosperity of the country that they have sworn an oath to govern, that they should implement the outcome of this conference, because it is going to be a win-win solution for everyone. Let us not pretend that things are going well in this country. Let us not pretend that you can use only gun to suppress the security in this country. Certain issues can be done by way of policy and implementation of such policies. And that is what we are pushing forward. And talking about after the conference, whatever be the outcome of the conference, we as citizens of this country, we are also stakeholders of this country. We'll continue to push, we advocate for the justice, for the economic advancement, and for the leadership prosperity of this country. So we'll continue to push forward and ensure that whatsoever good reports that we have as a result of this conference will be adopted by the president, our president, the governors, and all ties of government, so that we all can have a country that we can call our country.
Our own. Thank you very much, sir. So who is supposed to attend this event? Aside, you mentioned stakeholders, you mentioned security agents.
All concerned citizens are expected to participate.
Okay.
But critically, we are looking more in the area of the security agencies, the cattle owners and the breeders,
Okay.
the farmers, the victims of this crisis. They are also coming to share their experience. And most importantly, we are charting a way forward to know and to understand how do we go about running and moving forward in this area, agricultural area, because Nigeria really have the land, but people are scared to go into the bush,
Yes.
to crop, to farm. And this area is very critical. It's very, very important that we cannot shy away from. And in the long run, Nigeria will be better for it. Nobody will be hurt if we're able to achieve this milestone. It has something to do, like I mentioned yesterday and in the previous outing, that it is not only the Fulanis that are cattle rearers.
Yes.
So some people, when they hear about cattle rearers, the first thing that comes to their mind is, the Fulani.
The Fulanis
No,
are in charge.
no,
Yes.
no, not just the Fulanis.
Okay.
Fulanis are in the majority. The Fulanis are not the problem of this country. The problem of this country is implementation and giving out the right policies. And that is why we want to come in to help, to support, to give recommendations. We don't want to sit at the fence and continue to lambast the government, want to criticize the government. We want to bring solutions. We want to suggest
part of
that
the
this is
system.
what we think is necessary for us to move forward. Let them compare it. If there is anything contrary to that, they let us know.
Thank you very much, sir. I feel like giving you a round of applause. That was really beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the LJE for this initiative, and I wish you success in your upcoming event. And that was our exclusive interview with the President of Leadership Hub, Justice and Economic Advancements, Barrister Samuel Memeh, and he has reflected on ways the LJE can help tackle the root causes of farmers-herders conflict through justice and dialogue. Do well to be a part of the LJE Nigeria National Conference by registering with the link on the screen, so we all can find lasting solutions to these problems through justice and dialogue. Be sure to keep the conversation going Comment, like, and subscribe to all our social media at LJE Nigeria, and do well to report a violation if you face one on our website www.ljenigeria.org. Thank you for joining us on Leadership Dialogue today. I am Omoyeni Ojeifu.
What are we saying? The land we call home, the source of our life, our food, and our future. A conflict that tears at the very heart of Nigeria.
We see the pain, the shattered lives, and the broken trusts. But what if we could mend what is broken?
LJE Nigeria invites government officials, traditional and religious leaders, farmers and herdsmen representatives, security agencies, civil society organizations, international development partners, and the general public to a 2-day national conference themed Securing Nigeria's Future, addressing the root cause of herdsmen-farmer conflict through justice and inclusive dialogue. Date, 30th September to 1st October 2025. Venue, Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja, Nigeria.
Join us as we address the root causes of this conflict through inclusive dialogue.
We will not just talk,
We will listen.
we will not just debate.
We will seek to understand.
Together, we will find solutions.